Welcome to Super Sport Garage Podcast. This week we're going to be talking about Hennessey Manufacturing
and their new factory that they just quietly announced for some reason. That I haven't seen anything on this. I just saw it on Instagram.
You have to dig to find it.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. Hennessey is located on Interstate 10, just west of Houston. They're in a town called Sealy, Texas. Their current facility is 55,000 square feet, and they are going to be doubling in size to about 100,000 square feet with their factory in the shape of an H for Hennessey, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, the design actually looks really cool. I'll put up some photos on the podcast so that you guys can actually see it. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, go check it out on our YouTube channel. That way you can see what the factory looks like. But
yeah, it's a family-owned business, which is amazing. And their purpose is to take fast cars and make them better and faster. And they continue to put the muscle back into American cars, American muscle cars. And their capacity right now is about 900 cars.
Yeah, so for 2025, they are predicted to produce 850 to 900 cars. But in 2024, they produced 560. So that's a 60% growth from 2024 to 2025, which is insane for any company, let alone a multi-million-dollar car manufacturer, because they manufacture some cars and some they just tune. But then in 2026, they're predicted to hit 1,300 per year. And that's a 44% growth rate, which is crazy still.
And that's when they move into their new facility too. Yeah. So as they're building their facility, as sections get built, they're going to be moving in and starting to amp up production.
Yeah. And this new facility, even though they're predicting 1,300 cars next year, they're building it to be able to fit 2,000 cars per year. So they're building 3-4 years in advance. And then I don't know what they're going to do after that. They're going to have to build another one.
But you know, when you look at the cost of things, and costs keep rising, makes you think that we might be in a small recession.
Just and a little bit.
Hennessey is continuing to expand.
Yeah.
And that is very amazing for that company.
Yeah. Well, look at their demand. They're growing at an incredible rate. And when your company's growing, when you offer a phenomenal product and you have the opportunity to expand and grow even more, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
But this new renovation, they're investing $15 million into it, which is crazy because I'm assuming there's no investors in there. As far as I'm aware, that there's no investors in the Hennessey company at all. And it's crazy that this family's investing $15 million into their factories again.
I wouldn't think they would want investors, because then the investors start to control the company. And it's a family-owned business and they want to control it.
Yeah. It was started by John Hennessey back in the 90s, tuning Dodge Vipers, and just has grown from just the owner who still runs the company and still owns it. And now his kids are helping.
Yeah.
But it's really, really cool.
And they're going to be moving painting and composites to their new facility, so they won't be having to take that somewhere else to get that done. So everything will be done in-house for the vehicles.
Yeah. And as a result of all of this new production and the expansion and everything, they're going to be hiring an additional 80 employees. So if you want to work at Hennessey, get ready to start applying.
I would love to.
It'd be a blast. John Hennessey said, "It didn't seem long ago that I was racing up Pikes Peak and setting speed records at Bonneville in the infancy of starting the business. I've been extremely blessed to turn my dream of racing and creating fast, fun vehicles from a hobby into a business with over 125 employees and more than 18,000 customers around the world. This investment is an additional manufacturing space that will allow us to meet the growing demand for Hennessey vehicles from dealers and customers across the country and around the world."
That's cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. So how do they produce cars? What's their process?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, one way that they do it is a customer brings in a car. And Hennessey will run a full quality inspection and then perform on a dynometer to test it. And I might not be pronouncing that right.
Or a dyno is what most people know it as. Just
Okay, I'll call it a dyno. But the test measures a vehicle's engine performance, power transferred to the powertrain, and losses from the dyno. A dyno test measures horsepower, torque, and acceleration through a computerized process. And so they want to know what they're getting into with the vehicle, what might have to be fixed, what might have to be replaced before they start working on the car.
also, they want to know what their vehicles are performing, because when you're a company that your whole thing is produce big, loud, fast cars with a lot of power, you want to make sure that you're not short selling your customers and actually delivering a product that they thought they were getting.
Yeah.
And they are, it's a crazy company. I love Hennessey. And the Venom F5 is by far my favorite American car. There's nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just in my opinion, nothing comes close to a Venom F5 other than a Bugatti Chiron or maybe a Koenigsegg.
Yeah.
But I think Hennessey is the American hypercar manufacturer.
They are. They're really the only one.
Yeah.
Once it's gone through the testing, that's when they start adding onto the car. They upgrade and increase the performance in each vehicle. And the final step in the upgrade process is every technician has to put their stamp or their name on every vehicle that they've worked on. And I like that because they have to take ownership for what they did. You know, if the car's not performing, okay, pop the hood and tell me who worked on it.
Yeah. It also shows you that it puts them more dedicated to the craft, because when your name, when I know at least when my name is on something, I'm going to pay a whole lot more attention to it than if I were just a 9 to 5 employee.
Correct. Yeah.
But after they assemble everything, they send it back to the dyno where they then test the performance again. And then they'll do 200 miles of road testing to make sure that these vehicles are delivered in the most capable ability that they've been tested for everything. So a customer does not have any issues with their vehicle.
Correct. They test it on the track. They have a track on their property and they also road test it. So they're doing a lot of testing. They want to make sure that any bugs are worked out so that when it goes to the customer's not going to have any problems with it.
Yeah. And like I said, this is just a phenomenal company that they know who their customers are, what they want, and they know how to offer a phenomenal product.
And that's why they're so well known, is they offer a top-notch product and everybody knows that.
Yeah. And they're a relatively small company, because you think about Lamborghini, Bugatti, or even Koenigsegg, like these are all huge 100 to 100 plus $1 million companies, sometimes even $1 billion companies with massive marketing budgets behind them. Hennessey's just this random tune shop that started 30 years ago and is now producing one of the world's fastest cars.
Yeah.
It's just crazy the amount of growth that they've seen. And
yeah,
I realize I keep going back to business, but I've said it before, I'm a business guy. So it's always, I love being a car guy, but it's always fun to see the business side of cars.
It's fun to see the business side, but it's also fun to see what goes into making the business the way it is. And it's quality. It's quality, making sure everything works and that the customer isn't disappointed. They keep the customer in mind every step of the process. And when you keep the customer in mind, you're going to continue to grow. It's when you lose sight of that your business will suffer. And we've seen that with all kinds of businesses throughout the United States, that when they focus on profits, when they focus on shareholders, their quality goes down.
Yes. And I definitely believe in public companies, but sometimes it is better, in the case of Hennessey, to be a privately held company, because if Hennessey was held by a bunch of shareholders, chances are you'd have one or two big shareholders that would have an issue with them taking huge gambles like this.
Yeah. And that's it for today.
Thanks for watching. thank you for the surprise amount of uh reaction to the last video. That surprised me.
And we're glad to be back.
Yeah. And now we'll also have a video coming next week as well. So
Yes. All right. We'll see you later.
have a great day.
Bye.